let's talk about a Rabbit R1, the revolutionary AI device almost every YouTuber has spoken at this point about. But this video is not going to be about me praising Rabbit R1, even though I want to do it a little bit. But this video is going to be about why do I think that Rabbit R1 is not that much revolutionary as much as every other YouTuber claims to be. Is it a good device for you to buy? Is it as powered as AI as the device claims it to be? This might be a really long video because I spent a last 1 week in trying to understand what this company is, what are they trying to do. I've scoured their website for anything that I can find so I could make this video really comprehensively. And to start with, this is not R1. In fact, this is maybe RP5. It's the Raspberry Pi 5. This is not a Rabbit R1 and I did not order a Rabbit R1. So now, what is with Rabbit R1 that everybody's been talking about?
A revolutionary new foundation model, and a groundbreaking consumer mobile device powered by it.
The way Steve Jobs launched the first iPhone.
Revolutionary mobile phone breakthrough internet communications.
Dive deeper into Rabbit R1 and then first of all clear certain myths. But before we do that, my mom has always told me that if you do not have something nice to say about something, don't say anything. So I want to preface with saying some nice things about them. Then I want to dive deeper into why I do not think it is a revolutionary device, or maybe why you shouldn't even buy one. I know for a lot of people in the US and a lot more other countries, $199 is nothing. But from where I come from, $199 could buy you maybe like two smartphones or more than that. So I want to first give you some nice things about them, and then let's dive deeper into the technical details of why I think maybe it's not a good device. That Rabbit R1 is technically a new hardware. For $199 you're getting a new hardware. You've got like a rotating camera, and then you have got like the click button, very similar like the crown in the Apple Watch, and then you've got a display. But the reason why I like the company, what they have done here is primarily what they're calling as LAM. Language Action Model is what they're calling it. So LAM, what I guess they might have done here is that they might have built a new language model built upon some rules that could understand user interfaces. So in fact, if you go to their research page, you could see this video. This is basically a video. You can open it in new tab and then see. You could see this video, and you could see this video about lot of these difference. You can see small icons or tiles and screens of them trying to show different visualizations of different UI. You can see predominantly Google Maps, Airbnb, and a lot more other things. I'm not sure how unique and individual these videos are, to be honest. Like I tried to zoom in, but I could not do it. But the idea is they are trying to say that the LAM, the language action model, or is it large action model? So maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, it's the large action model. The LAM is emphasizes our commitment to better understand actions, specifically through human intentions, expressed through actions on computers by extension in the physical world. So I'm excited about LAM. Irrespective of whatever this turns out to be, I am primarily excited about LAM. And also they're talking about neuro-symbolic model, for which we'll cover later on. Because from the look of it, the LAM approach makes sense. And this is not the first time somebody has talked about this kind of approach. In fact, one of the paper that they have linked, multimodal web navigation with instruction fine-tuned foundation models. And I guess we have probably covered a different paper or a research effort on this channel where the large language model could control your Android smartphone. So this is not the first time somebody has done it, but what they're claiming to say is that it is better than the existing models that they have picked at least. As you can see, we have certain models that use supervised learning, certain models with in-context learning. LAM, even the neural version, forget about neural symbolic, even the neural version LAM, even the LAM's one small is almost better than most of the approaches that we have here, except one maybe, but most of the approaches. And they are also saying that because this is a specific model, the latency would be less. So overall, I'm excited about LAM. It definitely seems like a really good effort in building a new foundation model that understands user interaction, user interfaces, and also the intentions of what we want to do. That's the first thing. The second thing, honestly, like I'm quite excited about is how you can teach the rabbit interface in the record mode, and that can probably do things. So this is something that I'm still like trying to figure out, like how this is going to come into picture, like how they are going to do it. But you can see from their demo that you can actually enable the teach mode, and all you have to do is one time you have to click a bunch of things, and this lamb from rabbit would understand, which is part of rabbit OS, about what to do. If it is true, it is mind blowing, because this, imagine, like I was excited for LoRa adapters required less data. We have quantization and all the other things, but this would be completely revolutionary. This particular feature, how you can fine tune or add knowledge to a new large language model, or in this case a large action model, about a new interface, if it is going to just take one interaction to do it. What I do not know at this point is, because they are showing Discord, they're showing Airbnb, I could already see that their model has been trained on these interfaces. Is it completely new interface? I have no idea about how the teach mode is going to work at this point. But as much as I'm excited for lamb, I'm excited for the teach mode in rabbit. And honestly, these two are certain things that I would absolutely look forward to see how it works. And it would make sense if it is a software company or software only company, if these are the two things that they're offering. Now, having those great nice words about lamb and the teach mode out of the way, I would like to start diving deeper into the first thing. I know a lot of people at this point think that this, like whenever you see a small hardware like this which says AI powered, people start immediately assuming, I don't know, for some strange reason, the AI is inside this. That is not the case. And it is not the case that you have to do some kind of speculation or something. If you go to their model, so the research page, you could immediately look for cloud, and it would say that cloud infrastructure to spin up environments for AI to behave like human. And you could see like multiple references. The second one here, while the neuro-symbolic lamb runs on the cloud, so that means it doesn't run on the device. That's first thing that we need to get out of our way. The lamb that they're talking about, the large action model, is not an on device, and it is going to happen in some cloud server, and you are literally going to send your data every time to the cloud server. You have already sent your data to Google. If you have got Alexa, you have already sent data to Amazon servers. If you've got ChatGPT, thanks to their partnership with Microsoft, you have already sent your data to Microsoft or OpenAI. And now what they are saying is that they have their own cloud infrastructure, which they are calling as secure. I believe it is secure. And you have to send this data to their cloud server, because that is how everything is going to get processed. At least most of the things, that is how it is going to get processed. Because they're saying that they don't want heavy client-side computing power. Okay, it's a very valid statement. But that is not what I would expect from a device that claims to be the powered by AI device. If somebody tells me that I would need internet to use the first iPhone, at least the very first iPhone, I wouldn't have bought. I mean, I think in my entire life, probably I owned iPhone once. That was also used iPhone when I was working in Dubai, so it was cheaper there. And I bought it later on for my partner, so that's a different thing. And also at that time, I bought a used iPhone refurbished from Apple. But the point here is that if somebody tells me that I need absolutely internet connection to use every single thing on this device, then maybe I wouldn't call that device powered by AI. Like if there is a car that is powered by petrol, then you need petrol just to run the car. You don't need anything else. You don't have to tell me that no, you can't take petrol here. You have to take petrol from the cloud and then run this car. That doesn't give me the confidence. That's where, honestly speaking, for me, this entire skepticism, the reason why I decided to make video is this is the starting point. So lamb does not run on device. That's very clear for us. The second problem that I have is with the demos and with the interfaces that they have shown. Most of the demo that you saw, even though they showed the device like this, I'm not sure how many of them are unedited. We have seen this with Google Gemini. Even a company like Google, if they can get away with edited version of, like, a lot of people felt hurt that I called it fake. If Google Gemini, Google can get away with edited version of, or fabricated or changed, sped up version of videos, I'm not sure how much of Rabbit R1 is actually as fast as they claim it to be. And in fact, they are saying that it should be faster than GPT-4, but we have seen online demos from Rabbit founder, that it is not as fast as it claims to be. That's one thing for you to remember. The next thing is, because they have reported latency, the next thing is what they are calling as neuro-symbolic model. See, neuro-symbolic is not completely new, and it's not like a fake term also. You can even see a Wikipedia page. There is neuro-symbolic AI. The concept is, one, you have got deep learning and machine learning. The second is you have got the rule-based, the heuristic-based approach. So how do you combine these two so that you have a neuro-symbolic AI? It's not completely random, but they have mentioned it in such a way that even though this page calls itself research, they have mentioned it in such a way that I could not make any sense out of how this is a neuro-symbolic symbiosis. I think in fact they mentioned symbiosis somewhere, but that information, at least I could not understand how they have basically combined these two and created this. Maybe they don't want to reveal their IP, I can understand, but they have got a research page, so I naturally assumed that they have gone into that detail to show what is it. So for example, they're saying, by utilizing neuro-symbolic techniques in the loop, LAM sits on the very frontier of interdisciplinary scientific research. Yet to date, no one has put cutting-edge neuro-symbolic techniques into production. LAM seeks to pioneer this direction. So everywhere they have mentioned about neuro-symbolic relationship, neurosymbiosis, and neurosymbolic symbiotic relation, and they have even spoken about production, but they have never mentioned about the relation or whatever that they have got. That's one thing for you to keep in mind. The next thing that you need to remember is the speech to text. So if you see the speech to text, and if you go to privacy policy here, so you would start finding things that are weird. Like for example, one, you can very well see R1 is designed to protect your privacy. Okay, our computer vision component I is designed to be physically blocked, and it doesn't have an always listening mode, so you have to push to talk. Okay, maybe it looks good. The next one is they're saying Rabbit OS. I don't know how many of the comments are going to be about how crappily I have an Indian accent for OS, operating system, so I'm sorry about it. Rabbit OS works with the best industry partners in natural language intelligence. So before I started this quest on making this video, I first thought, okay, maybe the text to speech and speech to text happens on device, and it is only the LAM part that happens in the cloud, because that was a skepticism I had. But after reading this, I'm not now sure that the language, the text to speech or speech to text also on device. It doesn't seem like, because if it is on device, I don't know why do you have to work with natural language intelligence partners. So I don't know. And it tells us that no one, including us, will be able to see your PII, personal identification information. We're committed to never sell the information without your formal and explicit permission. See, the problem is now the formal and explicit permission is very simple. I have a lot of apps that don't open if I don't turn on my location, or the first screen that they're going to like scroll, agree. I don't know how many of us read it, but this almost sounds like that. And the next one is about LAM, and it says when you interact with Rabbit OS, you will be assigned a dedicated and isolated environment on our cloud for your own LAM. So my LAM, for example, let's say I want to log into Facebook. I don't have a Facebook account, but terrible example. And if the way I'm going to use LAM to teach is, I'm going to log into Facebook. I'm going to go there, type my username, password. They're saying that username, password will be asked every time, but I'll log into my Facebook also. Now the screenshot or the video of this is going to be inside their cloud, because that's what LAM does. When our rabbits perform tasks for you, they will use your accounts that you have securely granted as control through the Rabbit Hole web portal. We do not store your passwords for these services. Rabbit will ask permission. So their idea is that I don't have to use API. So without using API, how can it make it enable? And this is again not a first thing. Like, to be honest, like many years ago, like I have done certain stuff, like, there were like Windows softwares at that time that would literally capture your mouse clicks, the coordinates, and it can do it. Like I've used it for automation. Like for example, go to a website, log in, collect data. So this used to be like the easiest way than sitting and clicking 100 times. But the thing is, that was all on device. Nothing was in the cloud. So I was not like paranoid enough to worry about that. But what they are saying is that now you don't have to use the API, or at least they are not going to use the API. Thanks to their neuro-symbolic research, everything happens inside the LAM and inside their cloud, and inside their cloud dedicated account for you. It's easy for customer profiling. They also say that we don't create fake accounts, and they're saying that it will be helpful for the company because it's going to increase traffic. See, I've worked on digital analytics for a very large part of my life. I've worked in customer analytics, marketing analytics, digital analytics, where we use data science to help companies save money or drive campaigns. One thing that companies don't like is anything that is non-human. Bots, search engines, or any kind of agent, because that's how you identify. When I say agent, like browser agents, these companies don't like them at all. So even though the demo is very compelling at this point for $199, now the question is, how many of those companies are going to let this happen after this device comes into production? If they don't let this happen, what will happen to the device? That's a very strange place to be in. And now they're talking about flexibility, transparency. If you don't like it, you can get in touch with this. Well and good, I appreciate it. What the device actually says, or during the demo also they spoke about, is music, map research, rideshare, food, tickets, travel, generative AI, shopping, reservations. If you go to their landing page, LAM functionalities, you can see search, music, rideshare, food, vision, generative AI translation inside optimal, and travel is inside exploratory. And these are planned things, ticketing, navigation. So I'm not on how much travel is different from ticketing. And even the web teach mode is experimental. So if this is like, I don't know how the order looks like. So, but you can see that, okay, this one works great. This one is experimental feature. We work with you to best incorporate them. May require some more exploration and undergoing beta testing. So the idea here is that not everything that they're showing us, as fancy as it is, will come with the device when you buy it. It's almost like, Tesla, or I think typically with Elon Musk, but a lot of other things promising something, but it will take time for you to get it. Now the biggest catch is, if you see the specs of this device, another thing that kind of irked me when they made the presentation is, when they showed the device, they said, hey,
I want to do a quick comparison. Here are some of the best phones on the market right now. You got iPhone, you got latest version of Android phones. We're looking at somewhere around $700 to $1,000 for a top phone with an app-based system. We priced the Rabbit R1 at $199, no subscription, no hidden fees.
The catch here is that, let me tell you one important thing. One of the most costliest item on a smartphone or most of the computing device is the processor itself. If you're from the olden era where you built your own computer, you would know that processors cost a lot of money. Processors cost a lot of money because it comes with the juice, of course, and it also helps you in power consumption because that's where it has a direct relationship. So if you see the processor that they are using, it's a MediaTek MT6765 octa-core Helio P35 processor with 2.3 GHz CPU frequency and maximum, and 4 GB storage, the memory RAM, and 128 GB storage. Now, if you go to any random websites where they are using this particular CPU or this particular processor, you can find devices less than even sometimes $100. So there are certain websites in like, at least in my country, India, where they're selling smartphones with the same processor for 6,000 rupees, which is less than $100. $100 is approximately 8,000 rupees. So if you see this device also, the comparison is quite unfair. I know they wanted to say that this is your, okay, one side they're saying this is not going to replace your smartphone, then another side they're saying this is the device you want, but the price comparison is completely unfair. It's like in India, I can buy a smartphone even for $50. I don't know, maybe it sounds very strange for you, but for 4,000 rupees, which is approximately $50, I can buy a decent enough smartphone that has Google Assistant, which probably has an AI, and with 4 GB or 8 GB RAM, and has a camera, and I can do pretty much a lot of things that they are promising here. Maybe I don't have a custom LAM, but I can do a lot of things. Especially if I'm going to call through API, all I need is a 4G connection, a SIM card slot, and I can do it with a $50 smartphone. I know they have to offload the cost of the cloud and all the other things within the device in itself. But this is the catch. The next thing is they recently signed up a partnership with Perplexity API. So if you buy Perplexity or if you buy Rabbit, I think you get like first 1 year Perplexity subscription or something for free. See, now catch is like what is going to happen after the first year. We already know that we are paying a lot for the apps on Apple Store or Google Play Store. We pay a lot of money for a lot of subscription. If you are like me, there is a ChatGPT subscription. I had Midjourney subscription, Netflix, Amazon Prime. In India, we have Hotstar and all the bunch of other things. Why do I want to buy a device that claims to be a AI powered device, not even battery powered, AI powered device, and that device has got subscription plan with another service provider which I have to pay because I have to use this device? I would rather do it on my smartphone. And a lot of people ask this question, why can't this be an app? And the founders have answered that this can't be an app because your smartphone is like, you have to open the app and it has a lot of distractions, and smartphone cannot understand what you mean. But I honestly still think maybe whether it is an app or not, but it could be like a skin, like an OS, rather than having it a separate hardware device. Because all if they're going to do is make a call to a cloud service and get it back. And that is one of the reasons they went ahead with a very low power processor. They're not using like a high latest Qualcomm Snapdragon processor. It's at least like where I come from, MediaTek is processor which smartphone makers use when they want to cut down the cost. So all in all, with all the information that I've given you, I don't believe technically that this is a smartphone killer or the iPhone killer or iPhone AI or whatever people are claiming. Maybe the next one that I'm going to give you might be like a little nitpicking, but I have done the research, so I have to share it. So this company, if you see here, they have changed the mother company's name a lot of times. I don't know, for some reason I find it very strange. Right now the company is called Rabbit Inc. So you can go see Rabbit Inc. Okay, cool. Now somewhere in October, there was an article that said the company is a rebranding of Cyber Manufacture Co. And somewhere with the Wayback Machine, I found out there was another link where the company had another different name before. I know they've received funding. But the whole thing is this company started as a web demo and now it's a hardware, which, I like hardwares. Hardwares are really good, and it helps you detach from the existing device that you have got new form factor. Everybody likes it. Honestly, at this point, I kind of like don't understand why the rebranding with different names for a mother company. Imagine like you were using Google and one day Google is called Alphabet, next day Google is called maybe like Essay, next other day Google is called like Orange. I would doubt what is Google doing. And maybe it's not a very technical complaint, maybe like I'm in the nitpicking mode, but I found it quite strange to buy a device that connects to a cloud with a secure infrastructure, and the company is changing the name of the mother company or the organization a couple of times in the last 1 or 2 years. So yeah, this is my rant, and thanks for coming to my TED talk. But the idea is, I don't think this is revolutionary. I don't think this is a device that everybody should be buying. If you are in a country where $199 is nothing, you can probably try to do it. But I definitely hope, and I am going to also try to see if we can build an open source alternative demo that can run either on your smartphone, that can understand user interfaces where you can make calls. Let me know in the comment section what you feel about the company. I truly appreciate the engineering marvel of this device. The device looks cool. The website looks cool. The demo looked cool. I just did not find like all the discrepancies or the ambiguity that they left us to figure it out. But otherwise, good luck to Rabbit. Let's see what happens with Rabbit. See you in another video. Happy prompting.